Welcome to the Solopreneur Academy podcast. This is a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to make more impact and income in less time. I'm your host, Megan, and throughout each episode, you'll learn how to create the lifestyle and legacy you want as you grow. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the last episode of the Summer Sales Series on the Solopreneur Academy podcast. Now, today's is going to be all about marketing and how to optimize your social media. I know this is a hot topic that you are going to want to save regardless of whether you want to get more sales this summer, but especially if you do want to get some more sales and get calls this summer. These are three simple things that you're going to be putting into your social media. Now, with every episode that we've had this entire summer, and one of the things I love about this podcast is it's not just education based. I'm not just teaching you things on this podcast. I want you to actually apply these things in your businesses. And I want everybody that listens to this podcast, there are tweaks that you can make to your social media quite literally this week that you're going to learn about on this podcast. But I also am going to include a worksheet that goes along with it. So make sure you go to the show notes and download the worksheet to make sure your social media is optimized and ready to roll for fall and moving on throughout any point in the year. These are all going to be really helpful for you. So there are three things that you want to do to make sure that you have your social media optimized for sales. There is your actual name, which a lot of people don't think about, but especially on Instagram, you want to be thinking about your name. There's your bio, and then there's your feed. And I'll do a little bonus talking about stories as well. So for you, when you are thinking about your business, we want to make sure it's very clear what you do, and we don't want to get confusing and creative with your business. A lot of times what I see people do is they come up with really unique names for their offers, which are fantastic. We love to see some catchy names, but I want you to imagine that for me, if I named my social media the Solopreneur Academy, yes, sure, there would be some people who would listen to this podcast, but I want to make it so that they can know about the Solopreneur Academy, but they also know about me first. Because I, as a solopreneur, we are all the face and brand of our business. Your business is not you, of course, but you want to make sure that you actually are using your name and your service in the actual thing that in your actual name on your profile. Now, why is this important? When we're thinking about, especially getting sales over social media, or sales in general, but especially over the summer, what I've talked about in the past couple podcast episodes is that there's a 76% surge in the summer months on where people are doom scrolling on their phones. They're out and about, they're hanging out, they're going to the pool, they're going on flights where they're doom scrolling more than ever. And 68% of people buy during the summer months more than any time in the year, besides the holidays when there's like Black Friday sales and things like that. But that's also in isolation, not a whole season. And I want you guys to take advantage of this. So in order for you to take advantage of this time and actually get sales from social media this summer and moving forward, you want to make sure that your business is easy to find. Now, I have people that have really like unique names, and like imagine that I like made my name 5-figure foundation or 6-figure scaling. That is fine, but it's so much harder to find. You want to make it easy for people to find you and work with you. So I would not recommend making your offer the name of your profile, especially like with LinkedIn and Facebook. You actually have a chance to like, it has to be your name, but with TikTok and with YouTube and with Instagram, you can get creative with it, and I would avoid that at all costs because the names of your programs might change. You might niche down, you might unniche. For me, I've gone from, I thought I was going to be a coach for kids, then I became a general coach, then I kind of niched a little bit to careers, then I switched to business. If I had switched it to throughout all the names of my company, with the being the name of my what people are searching for on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, people will get really freaking confused. So what I chose to do is I used my first and last name and the service that I provide. Megan Wing Coaching. It makes it so easy to find me. That is my name on my YouTube channel. That is my name on my LinkedIn. That's my name on actually on TikTok. I think Megan Wing was taken. So it's not your average life coach. But do you see how that's so much harder to find versus Megan Wing? I would love to make it Megan Wing Coaching, and I might even do that like this upcoming week just to like so it makes it easier to find me. And then my Instagram is Megan Wing Coaching. The other cool thing is, but beyond social media, my email is meganwingcoaching@gmail.com. My professional email, but the email that my VA gets and who my team gets is info at Megan Wing Coaching. And we send out all of our messages from support at meganwingcoaching.com. Everything is Megan Wing Coaching. So if you're like, you can kind of switch it around. So you could be like, one of my clients is Kalisha, so she's like coaching with Kalisha. You could be like Styles with Sally. It obviously doesn't have to be alliteration like that, but you want to make it something that's easy to find. So the first thing I want you guys to do is I want you, if your name is something like that's cute, catchy, creative, like cute and creative doesn't sell, simple sells. So I want you to change your name to be your name and what service you provide. And if you can't get that, like if like you can't necessarily figure out your like exact niche or something like that, what I would do, like let's say you're like Sally Brown and there's like a bunch of Sally Browns, you want to do like Sally Brown coaching or coaching with Sally Brown, something like that. You will most likely be able to find that. And that is what I would recommend you do for your profile. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is your bio. Okay. A lot of times people, when they are making their bios, they want to make their bio something that is speaking to their credentials and credibility. But when we are focusing as a service-based business, we don't want to think about you yourself. We actually want to think about them. We want to think about why they would work with me. Now, I am certified through the Life Coach School, but I want you to think about, for me, if would you actually consider working with me if you had like registered, or it's like LCS certified, um national board certified teacher. Like nobody cares about your credentials. I think I've had maybe one person ask me if I was certified in the past 6 years of my business. Okay. Nobody cares if you have your master's or PhD. It's cool. No one cares if like what those things are. They want to know, can you help me? So you want your bio to reflect that. Now, you can also, the cool thing is you can put like your and you want to be very clear. Like you don't want to be like take out any fluff that's like it's like working with elite executives in the blah blah blah. Like you want to be like you want to make it versus passive language. So you want to take out credentials. You want to make it active language, which is the next part. You do not want to make it passive language. Saying something like, here's what I do and here's who I help. An I help statement is helpful to have, of course, but you want to make it something that's very active. So what I have my clients do is I say, ready to do this, do work with me here, right? So I would recommend saying like ready to blankety blank blank. Typically, I have them put in their intangible pillars, which describes the service and the benefits that they work with people with. But I would go through and be like, right now, mine says ready to build a business that works for you. Do you see how I'm asking them a question? It's very active language. And then I say, start here, arrow down. And it says, then I list my program, start here and grow within the Solopreneur Academy. In parentheses, 5-figure foundation, 6-figure scaling. But that's what my bio says. I only include my offer because nobody cares about my offer right now. Like no one's like looking at my page and they're like, what are we gonna like? It's like, I mean, maybe someday somebody's going to be like looking for the Solopreneur Academy and five-figure foundation and six-figure scaling. But if you have never made six figures in your business, nobody knows who you are and nobody cares what you do. I don't mean to say that. I'm like, that sounds kind of mean. I was like, that's not what I mean. But they want to be like, they want us to be just like, life coach helps people. You want to be like, are you ready to move? Let's move. I work with, it's like 6 months of coaching is where you start. Sign up here. Very, very clear. You don't want to talk about like flashy names or things like that. You want to make it just really clear, like this is your next step. So that's what you want to do with your bio. Then let's talk about your feed. I go to so many people's pages and I'll see that in their name it says something like coach, but then in their feed they have pictures of themselves. Maybe they have a quote. They don't really have much about like, I want to work with you. Let's sign up here. Now, way I make my feed for Instagram really aesthetic and easy is I do a Canva quote with the same, like literally like the same text and a picture. And I just alternate between the two. And it's very, very simple, very easy to do. We literally just like, here's a quote, here's this, book this. Like it's very, very simple and fast. So for you guys, I want you to make your feed actually talk it, not just inspirational quotes, because people are going to think you're an influencer, not a service-based business owner. You want to be able to be like I want, it's like, here are 3 steps to, um, your summer schedule, like the most effective summer schedule you could possibly imagine. But those are the things that you want to do in your marketing. You actually want to have very active language. You want people to be directed towards things. And you want to have things like Sally was able to sign 3 consults, even though her house flooded. If that, it's like, if that sounds like something you need, sign up here for a consult to get started. But like, I want to see you talking about a consult in your feed. I want to see you talking about your offer. I want to know that you work with people for 6 months. I want to know that you work with people one on one. I want to know if you have a group. I want that on your feed so it's very, very, very clear about what you do, not confusing. A lot of times when I see people, I'm like, I don't even know what their offer is. Like, it just seems like kind of inspirational. And you want to be really, really direct with your people and be like, if you're on my page, it's because you want a better life and in some way, shape, or form, and working with me is the next best step. So I want to see that on there. One of the things that I have my clients do is they do this thing called a grid of three. I did a podcast about that, about making your social media function like a website. Feel free to find that episode. It's earlier on. I think it's like episode like 36 or something like that. But for you guys, I want it to be very clear about what you do. I want your name to be clear. I want your bio to be clear, and I want your feed to be clear. The more clear that you can make your feed, the simpler it's going to be for people to understand what you do, and then they will be sold to work with you. Now, the extra little bonus I wanted to include on here is I want you talking about your offer in your stories if you have that capability. TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram currently have the option for stories. So if you're on any of those platforms, I just want to clarify this is just like another bonus thing that you can do is each day you can post your current marketing content, repost it to your story. I would recommend that for everybody because if you're just relying on the feed to push you out to people, that's good, but not great. We want to actually get people booking and knowing how to work with you right away. So what we want to do is you want to post your story. You want to have your post of the day. And I would recommend, even with your post of the day, putting a consult link in your stories so that anybody and everybody, I don't care if they're your cousin from Canada, they know to work with you, you book a consult. I want everybody to know what a consult is. And I actually did a whole podcast about stories. So feel free to like refer back to that podcast episode if you want to hear like about my exact story strategy. And I've got a worksheet to go along with that one as well. But I want every day for people to see book a consult, book a consult, book a consult in your stories. And what I recommend for my clients is they actually have a post that they speak about what a consult is. Because a lot of people have never done a consult before. If I work with a physical therapist, if I so maybe like the only other time that I've done consults was when I had my wedding and we had like a consult with the florist, the wedding planner, the baker, like we did certain consults, but that's what I want you guys to do here is I want you to be able to have a consult link in your stories. I want people to know that it's a free 60-minute call with you. I want them to know they're going to talk about where they are now, where they want to be 6 months from now, for example, and they'll also learn more about working with you and if that's a good fit. But I want everybody in your audience, from your cousin to a potential client, to know that that's the next step to work with you. And I want you to have that link very easily accessible on your consult or for your consult that you put in your stories. Now, go back to episode 124 to learn about client filters. We do not want to add questions on your consult form. You just want to have the name, email, calendar link, and I talk about that whole episode. I really go through client filters and how to make sure you remove any obstacle that could stop people from working with you in that episode. But I know that you optimizing your name, bio, and feed, plus that little bonus of stories, is absolutely going to get you more sales this year. And my goal is to help you get more sales this summer. So I hope this episode was helpful for you. Make sure you use the link in the show notes to download this worksheet that goes along with it. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And I will be seeing you all in the next episode.
Did you know that 89% of people need to see a testimonial in order to buy? Get my free testimonial template using the link in the show notes, and you'll see exactly how I used testimonials to market my business as it grew to 120K in my first year full-time and multiple six figures every year after that. Thank you so much again for listening, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Solopreneur Academy podcast.